Tom had always been drawn to old things, and when he found the dusty, antique camera at the flea market, it felt like a treasure. Before we begin, hit the like button and subscribe for more spine-tingling stories like this one. Don't say we didn't warn you. The camera was strange, heavy and intricate, with strange carvings on the body that looked like symbols from another time. The vendor, an old man with a raspy voice, gave him a knowing smile as he handed it over. "Be careful with that one," the old man warned. "It captures more than just memories." Tom, dismissing it as a quirky sales pitch, paid for the camera and left, eager to test it out. He loved photography, and this camera, with its vintage charm, seemed like the perfect addition to his collection. Later that evening, Tom decided to try it out. He pointed the camera toward the empty street outside his apartment window and clicked the shutter. The flash was blinding, but when he looked at the photo, it was nothing like he expected. It wasn't just a picture of the street. It was of the street, yes, but with one disturbing difference. In the foreground, standing under a streetlight, was a figure, a shadowy figure, too blurry to make out, but unmistakably human. Tom's heart skipped a beat. He had been alone in the apartment. No one had been outside. Shaking his head, Tom assumed it was some sort of weird glitch with the camera. But as the night went on, things only got stranger. The next day, Tom decided to take the camera out again, this time to the park. He clicked a few photos of the empty benches and trees, but once again, the developed photos revealed something shocking. In each one, standing in the background, was that same figure. It was always in a different position, always watching him from the distance, but always there. That night, Tom could hardly sleep. He kept thinking about the figure in the pictures. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. He even checked his front door a few times, convinced someone was outside. But nothing was there. The next morning, he decided to test the camera again, this time inside his apartment. He set it up on his coffee table, aimed it at his reflection in the living room mirror, and clicked the shutter. The flash was blinding. When Tom looked at the photo, his blood ran cold. In the photo, there was no reflection of him. Instead, standing behind him was the figure, clearer than ever before, and it was grinning, a wide, twisted smile that made Tom's stomach churn. He immediately turned around, expecting to see someone standing behind him. Nothing. The apartment was empty. But when he glanced back at the photo, the figure had moved. It was now closer to him. Tom's breath caught in his throat. How could that be possible? It was just a photo, just a camera. But in the photo, the figure was so close, it seemed as if it was right behind him. Tom tossed the camera into a drawer, hoping to forget about it. But every time he looked at the pictures, the figure grew closer, and it was always smiling that same twisted grin. Days went by, and the figure began appearing in every photo Tom took. It followed him, getting closer and closer with each shot, until one day, Tom took a picture of his own bedroom. The figure was in his bed. Tom's mind raced. What was happening? He knew he had to get rid of the camera, but no matter what he did, the photos never stopped. The figure was always there, in the background, waiting, watching. Then one night, as Tom lay awake in bed, he heard a sound, a soft click, like the sound of a camera shutter. He shot up, heart pounding in his chest. The room was dark, but when he looked at the edge of his bed, he saw it. The camera. It was on the floor beside him. The lens pointed directly at him. The flash went off. In the photo that developed, Tom saw himself lying in bed, eyes wide in terror. But standing beside him, inches away, was the figure, and it was holding the camera. Tom's body went cold with fear. He looked to his left. Nothing was there, but the figure was in the photo, grinning. Tom realized too late. It wasn't the camera that was haunted. It was the pictures. The next morning, when the landlord came by to check on him, they found Tom's apartment exactly as it had been, except for the photos scattered on the floor. And in each one, the figure was closer than before, always smiling, always waiting. If you enjoyed this unsettling tale, make sure to like and subscribe. You never know what might be waiting for you through the lens of the camera.